When YongWoo spoke his honesty with Choa at the terrace, this was all I could hear. I listened again and all I could see was... I watched this scene 4 times before I could fully understand what this man was saying. But before we get into that, let's talk about the hottest couple. Do you remember when Jaehyung and Ji-won did this? And this, or this? Guess what, guys, I wasn't moved. I laughed so hard with them, but they didn't make my heart flutter. But when this happened, and this... wow, those moments made my heart flutter. She was showing her man off to everyone. Ji-won and Jaehyung are about to be the power couple of this entire show. Did you see YongWoo's face when the 2 lovebirds were in their own little world in the kitchen? It seemed Yong Wu was about to cry ha ha ha. When he saw how loved up they were, he totally gave up any hope he might have been brewing in his heart towards Ji-won. That chapter is officially confirmed dead end. On his date with Yunha, I have to say their second place win earned them a really cool date. That location is breathtaking. Singapore is a very beautiful country. I hope more Korean dating shows get filmed there. The budget for this show must be pretty sick. It's incredible how good this show is. Anyway, back to the date. YongWoo mentioned Ji-won a few times during his date with Yunha, but he later stopped himself. It seemed like he found Ji-won more charming at some point, which made him like Choa less. So during his date with Yunha, he acted like he just rediscovered himself, like the past 2 weeks were a dream. It felt like he was saying he's been in a trance and that everything he's done so far wasn't real. Like everything he's done was not intentional but conditional. Implying he liked Choa because he felt he had to, not because he wanted to. Like he said, he hadn't been true to himself. This seemed ridiculous to me. YongWoo said that talking to Yunha helped him figure out his feelings. I'm glad he finally sorted them out, but somehow, I have a feeling that he's been looking for an easy way to cut Choa off without looking bad on camera, and he finally had a chance to do so after this date, by making it seem like he just discovered something new about his feelings through Yunha. Honestly, my guy deserves a spot in Hollywood. His acting is top-notch. Don't get me wrong, I still like YongWoo a lot, but he's no longer my favorite male contestant on the show. I feel a little anxious for Yunha. She seems to think YongWoo's change of heart means he likes her because of their date. Maybe he did develop feelings for her, since we don't get to see everything through edit manipulation, but based on what we saw, only Yunha was really into him on that date. She's liked him from day one, so it's no surprise her heart opened up to him. Sadly, I think YongWoo is a lost cause in love right now. He needs to fix himself before finding love. He had 0 feelings for Yunha. His dates in Seoul with Choa showed his romantic interest in her than what was shown on his date with Yunha. It seems Yunha is about to drop YoonJae for YongWoo ha ha ha. The drama in this twist is insane. I hope Yunha won't miss out on YoonJae. YoonJae is a really great guy who cares about her a lot. It's understandable if she doesn't feel secure because she's 5 years older than him, but age shouldn't matter that much, right? After receiving some therapy from Yunha lol, YongWoo called Choa for a much-needed, according to him, he wanted to have an honest discussion. Guys, if I said I understood everything he said, I'd be lying. After watching it 3 to 4 times, I kind of get it, but I'm still a little confused. Here's what I think he was trying to tell Choa. First, he thanked her for taking care of him when he got injured. Then he said that dating someone new besides her on that day was refreshing for him, but he's not sure if it was the same for her. Initially, he had one hand behind his head, and he seemed a bit nervous. But soon, when he started talking, he switched to both hands behind his head, which is a defensive posture meant to show he's in control and doesn't feel threatened. It can also be interpreted as a domineering position. Or maybe this was just a habit he has. I wish he had used a better posture when starting the conversation. Later, he seemed more comfortable after he got a couple of sentences out and adjusted himself. So, after listening for a bit, it felt like he convinced himself that Choa forced him to be someone he wasn't. Please correct me in the comments if I'm wrong because I'm genuinely confused. How did Choa push him into not being himself when they hardly spent time together in Seoul? If anyone was to be blamed for anything, he should have blamed his sister for nudging him to give Choa those flowers in front of everyone. He also said he felt bad that she spent her precious time taking care of him without eating while he was injured. He said he hated himself for thinking that way after all she did for him. This means he felt guilty for thinking she was wasting her precious time on taking care of him when he doesn't really care about her anymore, right? Then, just when I was trying to piece together what he was saying, he dropped another bombshell and stated, "I'm not saying we should break up. But having a conversation like this means a lot to me." Then he said, "Strangely, ever since I got here, till we got to Singapore, I was only sending my messages to one person. For the first time, I might send it to another person today." After he said that, my brain went gaga. What was so strange about it? Like, is this man for real? How is this man so confusing? He's a whole goddamn pilot from America for Pete's sake. But then again, he resumed his posture and said, "I want us to use the rest of our time here as best as we can." It sounds like I am saying goodbye, but that's not true. Then he chuckled and added that he's been the most honest about his feelings and that he's the most honest person. After he claimed to be the most honest person, she asked him why he felt he needed to act. He told her that he was attracted to other people but had to pause those feelings and not explore other options because of her. How is this Choa's fault? I don't understand his thinking in this aspect. After he finished talking, I had to give it to Choa. She handled the situation with calm and grace. If I were her, my face would be buried in those pillows, bawling my eyes out. He wasted her time throughout the entire show and then dumped her 3 days to the finale. Like, what the heck, dude? Anyways guys, I'm glad he was able to cut the final thread connecting him to Choa, so now, Choa can move on with no more confusion. I have to admit YongWoo gave me a lot of disappointing and sad feelings in this episode. I hope he redeems himself in upcoming episodes. Then came the time for them to exchange messages. I was desperately hoping Choa would send a friendly message to anyone besides YongWoo, but she still sent one to him, thanking him for sharing his feelings honestly. He was on the verge of tears, probably feeling bad that she could still thank him after everything he put her through. However, he sent his message to Yunha. Jung Sub's facial expression when he saw that two people chose his sister was priceless. It felt like he no longer cared that he didn't receive any messages himself. That was epic, guys. Now, back to YongWoo's message. My interpretation of his message to Yunha wasn't about love. It felt like he sees her as an older sister, but Yunha misunderstood it to mean he has feelings for her. Later that night, Yunha confidently sat next to him at the table while ignoring YoonJae. What do you think, guys? Do you think he truly developed romantic feelings for Yunha? Do you think Yunha will dump YoonJae for YongWoo? She was pretty excited to go out with him. The amount of dresses she tried on before going on that date shows she really cared about leaving a mark on him that day. Will this really bloom into an incredible relationship? Share your thoughts in the comments. Thanks for watching. Hit the like button and subscribe if you want more content like this. Bye.